All right, so today's class, we are looking at ordering decimals, graphing decimals, and rounding decimals. So firstly, we will look at ordering decimals. So first example here, we have, which is greater, 0.394 or 0.387? So when we're looking at comparing decimals or ordering them, you always have to look from left to right. So start with your whole numbers and then move to your decimal places. So we have 0 and 0 in our ones place. Next, you will look at your tens place. We have a 3 and 3 in the tens place. Next, you'll notice we have a 9 in the hundredths place, and there's an 8 in the hundredths place for that one. All right, so since 9 is greater than the 8 here in the hundredths place, therefore 0.394 is greater than 0.387. All right, so always look for the, after you've done looking at the whole numbers, you're going to start looking at the first place to the right of the decimal and then keep going. So let's see here, 8.493 or 8.45. All right, so again, start with your whole numbers. We have 8 here and we have an 8 there. So next we would look at our tenths position. It's a 4 in the tenths position and a 4 in the tenths position. Next we look at our hundredths position. There's a 9 and then there's a 5. So there's a 9, there's a 5 in the hundredths position. So therefore 8.493 is greater than 8.45. All right, if you wanted to, you could continue and fill in zeros. That's what it's saying here. You can add zeros here. Then you can compare all the digits. All right, so that leads us to our next question, which is greater, 4.8, 4.80, or 4.800. So all of these numbers are the exact same. They're all equal in value. All right, so we would say 4.8 is equal to 4.80, which is equal to 4.800. So these ones were for you guys to try. So let's go over these ones. So look at our whole number first, 28 and 28. So next we'll look at our tenths position. This is a 0, this is a 0. Next, look at your hundredths position. We have a 9 here, we have a 7 here. So therefore 9 is greater. So 28.09 is greater. This one, some of you made the mistake of thinking this one was greater because it's like a longer number, there's more digits, but make sure you're always going left to right. Check your digits here. We have 5 in the tenths position, 5 in the tenths position, then we have a 7 in the hundredths position, and there's a 3 in the hundredths position there. So therefore, that one is greater. Okay, 0.573 is greater. And next we have 8.6 and 8.67. So in the hundredths digit, basically we have a 0 here in the hundredths digit. This one is a 7. So 8.67 will be the greater one. So the next question here, we're looking at writing numbers from least to greatest. So start with your ones digit, they're all 0. Start with the tenths digit. We have a 0, 0, this is 1, so this is greater. Next, we're looking at our hundredths digit. We have a 3 and a 9, so therefore the least is 0.03. Next would be 0.09, and greatest would be 0.10. All right, try this one here. Looking at this one from least to greatest, it was actually already from least to greatest. So it would just stay the same. All right, so I'm just going to leave it as is because it is already least to greatest. All right, so next we are looking at graphing decimals. So when we plot any decimal number on a graph, you have to remember that our number system is based on tens. Okay, so the space between the two numbers, we can divvy it up into 10 equal parts for tenths, and then you can divide each of those divisions into tenths to make it into hundredths, and then so on for continuing with that. All right, so here we have a 2 and then we have 3, and in between 2 and 3, we've divided it up, so you can see 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and so on. If we wanted to look in between 2.3 and 2.4, so 2.3 is here, and we have 2.4 on the other end, and like before, you can divide that up into 10, and now you have your hundredths digits, 2.31, 2.32, 2.33, and so on, to get to 2.4. Similarly here, decimals appear between whole numbers on the number line. So we have our number line here, and let's say we're looking between 1 and 3. There's 1, there's 3, we got 2 in the middle, and we can divide that up. So we have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and so on. All right, so that is how we see on a number line. All right, try to figure out what the missing numbers here would be in each of these number lines. I'll pause here. All right, so the answers are here on the next screen, so you guys can go ahead and check your answers. All right, so next we are looking at rounding off decimals. So pay attention to what the question is asking, which place value you need to round off to. So in our first example, we are rounding 3.826, but we are rounding to the nearest tenth. So I'm just going to rewrite this here. So we have 3.826. That is our tenths position. All right, so you always look to your right. So look to your right. That's a 2. 2 is less than 5, so we don't change anything. When we round this, it just stays as 3.8. All right, that's in our tenths position. We're done. Okay, remember, if it's 5 or greater, then you would round up. So our next example, we have 12.365948, and we just need to round to the nearest hundredth. So find your hundredths position, so that's tenths. The 6 here is in the hundredths position. Look to the right, it's a 5. So 5, the rule is, if it's 5 or greater, we would round up. So therefore, the rounded would be 12.37. Don't forget to include all the other digits. There's still the 3 here in the tenths position, and then we have that 7 that we just rounded up to 7 from 6. All right, so when we're rounding here for the ones digit, so 9 is in the ones digit, that's the one we're looking at. You look to the right, and so we have to go up 1. So therefore, when we round this, it becomes 80, okay, because we got to round up. This one, again, ones digit, that's the 9. Look to the right, that's a 2, so we are going to stay. It'll stay as 909. Okay, and then for this one, we have a 1 in the ones place, so look to the right, and it's a 9, so therefore we have to round up, so that one will be rounded up to 2. All right, last slide, so try these ones. In this case, we are rounding each off to the nearest hundredths. So first one here, we have 0.7708. So we're looking at our hundredths position, that's a 7. Look to the right of it, it's 0. So therefore, we don't have to round up. We are just going to stay as 0.77. All right, so next we have 0.13991. The 3 there is in the hundredths position. Look to the right, we have a 9. So therefore, we have to round up. So the 3 goes to a 4. So our rounded here would be 0.14. Okay, next, 7.1677. We have 6 in the hundredths position, 7 to the right of it. So the 6 has to go up 1, so it becomes 7.17. All right, so we'll stop here for today.